How do I know if Internet content is infringing copyright? The Internet makes all kinds of copyright-protected content, like images, text, music, and videos, available quickly and easily. As is discussed in the video, can I use Internet content like YouTube videos to teach my students? A new exception in the Copyright Act permits the reproduction, performance, and communication of publicly available Internet content for educational purposes. But this exception does not apply if you know or should have known that the content was made available through the Internet without the consent of the copyright owner. Sharing content without the consent of or permission from the copyright owner happens frequently on the Internet. Technology makes it easy to copy an entire movie or scan a whole book and share it online. As an educator, you need to ensure that the online content you're using, sharing with, and recommending to your students was uploaded by the copyright owner or was uploaded with the copyright owner's consent. So, how do you know if the content you wish to reproduce, perform, communicate, or share via links or hyperlinks was made available through the Internet with the consent of the copyright owner? And how can you tell if content is infringing copyright? Here are some tips to keep in mind when assessing Internet content. You can start by considering the online source of the content and the reputation of those who manage that online source. Is the individual or organization that manages the website easily identifiable, and are they reputable? Would you or your college want to be associated with that individual? Your college's library may have compiled lists of websites that they would recommend based on their authority, accuracy, currency, and relevance. When assessing whether Internet content like media files that contain sound recordings were uploaded by the copyright owner or with their consent, look for usernames and content descriptions. Consider the username of the individual or organization who uploaded the content. Many music producers, broadcasters, and performers will have official usernames and YouTube channels. They'll also provide a description of the uploaded content that will acknowledge the copyright owner as well as the legitimacy of the uploaded content. You may see video descriptions that read, "No copyright infringement intended." But just because infringement isn't intended doesn't mean that it hasn't occurred. Content that bears this kind of description should not be reproduced, performed, communicated, or shared via links or hyperlinks. Media files that contain sound recordings and videos are often embedding enabled. The individual or organization that uploaded the media file may have authorized embedding, but they may not be the copyright owner, and therefore would not have the right to distribute the media file. Again, look for usernames that indicate that the individual or organization is the copyright owner or has their consent, as well as descriptions that indicate that the content is legitimate. If someone other than the copyright owner uploaded the content, did they get permission or the copyright owner's consent? How can you tell? Look for credit lines and notices. Authoritative sites are often likely to have sought and received permission from the copyright owner. A credit line will acknowledge the copyright owner and indicate whether the use of the content was permitted or licensed. In addition to acknowledging the copyright owner, a notice will indicate whether further use is permitted or prohibited. Although your college's fair dealing policy may permit the communication of short excerpts of published works, only short excerpts that do not infringe copyright can be communicated via your college's learning management system like Blackboard or Desire to Learn, which is a secure network that the public does not have access to. Only book publishers and music and movie producers can authorize or make legitimate copies of their published works available to the public through the Internet. Refrain from reproducing, communicating, linking, or hyperlinking to copies of published works that are available through websites that have not been authorized or endorsed by publishers or producers. If you consider the online source and the reputation of those who manage it, and if you look for usernames, descriptions, credit lines, and notices, you'll be able to make an informed decision as to whether the online content you wish to use could be infringing copyright. If you're finding it difficult to assess a specific uploaded document or media file, ask the person designated by your college to answer copyright questions for assistance. They may even be able to provide you with suitable alternatives if it's suspected that the content does infringe copyright. Anything else? Yes. When you've determined that the content you wish to use is not infringing copyright, keep in mind that linking and hyperlinking to online content are good alternatives to reproducing that content, because links and hyperlinks are not considered copies of the content they refer to. This has been a general discussion about assessing whether websites and online content infringes copyright. For more information, always refer to your college's copyright practices or ask the person designated by your college to answer copyright questions. Your college library is a good place to start.